Okay, good evening all. Everyone can hear me. Online students, is my voice is loud and clear? Yes, done. Yeah, just 2 minutes and we'll start the session. Okay, guys. So let's start the session. And in today's class, we are before starting the today's session, in the last class, we have discussed about the pandas. Okay, and within the pandas, we have discussed what is meant by series and how to create a series using a list, using a one-dimensional array, and also using a dictionary. And second, we have seen what is meant by data frame. And data frame is using by a list, and it is by using a two-dimensional array and by using a dictionary. What is the major difference of pandas series versus data frame? Is series is a one-dimensional data, data frame is a two-dimensional data, right? So, and we have seen how to create the series and how to create the data frame. And once we have created the data frame, we have seen the few functions. The first function is called as append function. Append function is used to add two data frames. Next, concat. Next function is called as concat. Concat function is used to concat the multiple data frames, whether two data frames or multiple data frames. Whereas this one is used to concat only two data frames. Use it to concat two data frames is called as append. If you want to concat, use it to concat two or more than two data frames, then we are going to use the concat. Sir, if for example, two data frames only is there, then I should go with append or concat, miss? Anything of your choice. Generally, will not use the append. In the future also, pandas, they are going to remove the append function. You have seen that one as a warning. In the last class, if you have seen that one, when I have executed this one, they have given that warning. What is that warning, miss? Future warning. What is that one, miss? This method is depreciated and removed from the pandas from the future version. In the upcoming version, they are going to remove the append function because there is no use of append function, because in the concat also we can do the same. So separately append function is not required. So in real life also will not use append function, but some certifications, like if you take any kind of certification exams, still they are giving the append function. You should not get confused for that, right? So still it is available. So that is the reason we have discussed. But in the future, we are not going to use the append function. It will be removed, right? And next, merge function. So these are the three different functions which we have discussed in the previous class. And within the merge, again, we have discussed what is left merge, right merge, inner merge, and outer merge. So four different types of merges also we have seen. And this merge is equivalent to joins in the SQL. Okay, remember this point. It is equivalent to joins in the SQL because one of the most important, and in SQL, joins is the mandatory interview question. Without joins, there is no SQL interview only. If the person is asking at least one question from SQL, means that should be join, minimum guarantee. Okay, without join, there is no entire SQL, no interview only. That much of, so much of importance is there for the joins in the SQL. Why that much of importance is there that for that one is when we discuss the SQL, I will explain. Okay. But remember, merge, it is equivalent to joins in SQL. Same names. In SQL also we are having left join, right join, inner join, outer join. Same names. No difference. Join names also same as it is. Right? So these are the things which we have discussed in the last class. And along with this, we have seen one more function called as read underscore CSV, where it is going to load the CSV files. So if you want to load the CSV files, we are going to use the CSV file, where we are going to write the file name along with the path. So first we have to write the path plus your file name, whatever the file name, along with the extension .csv. For read underscore csv, .csv only should be there. So this is mandatory. Path plus file.csv. Or second option for this is read underscore csv, where only your file .csv. When you are going to use this one means when your CSV file is in your working directory, right? Similarly, we have seen how to load the Excel sheet, that is read underscore Excel, by using the read underscore Excel function, right? So these are the things which we have covered in the last class. Now let us move on to the next one, right? So once again, I'm restarting my kernel, means enter fresh, completely new Jupyter notebook. Now, first I'm going to import the NumPy and I'm going to import the pandas. Now, once the pandas is loaded, means once you have imported the library, directly I'm going to load my data frame, which is nothing but pd.read underscore csv liver.csv file, which is already available in my working directory. Directly I'm going to load this one. So when I have loaded this one, the entire CSV file, whatever you are having, it will be loaded. Now, there is an interesting question. What is that question means? Let us take like this. Sir, if I open an Excel sheet, let us create a new Excel sheet. In this Excel sheet, you are having some data. Some data is in the sheet number 1. Here there is a sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Like this, we are having multiple sheets. Some data will be in the sheet 1. Some data will be in the sheet 2. Some data will be in the sheet 3. Now, I want to load the sheet 3 data, not sheet 1 data. Then what we have to do is, just here, we have to write the sheet underscore name is equal to, and whatever the sheet name is there, that one you have to write. By default, it is going to take the sheet number 1. By default, first sheet will be selected. If you want the sheet 3, third sheet, or fourth sheet, whatever the sheet number is there, that one you are going to select. For example, let us open the same data file where I'm having pd.read underscore csv liver.csv. This is the one which I have uploaded. Now, let me open that file in my working directory. Let me open. So this is my working directory. So this is the file where I'm having, this is the file liver.csv. Now in this liver.csv, I'm having only the first one. Sheet name by default, it is going to consider the first one only. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sheet. The new sheet name is called as SRK. Sheet name is called as SRK. Here I'm going to take X is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something I have written, and I'm saving. I'm clicking on save. Okay. Now this will be saved in my whatever the CSV file is there, in the same CSV file. Okay, that is liver.csv. This is liver.csv. You can see here comma separated value. The type is comma separated value. Now, if I open my liver, this one. Oh, the previous one was edited. Just give me a minute, guys. Or in Excel also, let us go in the Excel sheet only. Why CSV? Excel also same. I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let us do in this. Okay. Now, just I'm going to click on the save. Yes, it is saved. Now, where I have loaded that one? In the liver.excel file. In the liver.excel file, I'm having the sheet name. Let me rename the sheet name as SRK. Okay. And now, just I'm closing. Now, how to load this Excel sheet? Generally, how to load the Excel sheet? Read underscore Excel. So what I'm going to do is pd.read underscore Excel. I'm going to use Excel. And within that, I'm going to use the liver.excelxx. Okay, that is the extension. Okay, now I'm going to load the data. Now, if I load the data, by default, it is loading the sheet number 1. Whatever is there, it is loading the sheet number 1. That is, this is the first file, sheet number 1. This is the sheet number 1. It is loading the sheet number 1, but I don't want the sheet number 1. I want the second sheet. The sheet name is called as SRK. So what I'm going to do is here, just I'm going to write the keyword called as sheet underscore name. This is the keyword argument within this function. This is called as keyword argument. Now where I'm going to give the argument as SRK. Now it is going to load the data. Is it clear? That particular sheet will be loaded. Okay, by default, the first sheet, whatever the first sheet name is there, it is going to load the first one. By default, it is going to take the first one. Is that clear? Guys, as one of the student is saying what voice is breaking, can others confirm me whether voice is clear or it is breaking? Yes, clear, right? Yeah. Santosh, can you please relog in once again? Might be problem from your end. Okay. So in this way, we are going to load the data, right? Now this one I'm going to store in the DF, some data frame name called as DF. So if you want to store the any particular sheet means you can create that sheet. Otherwise, by default, it is going to select the sheet one, right? And if I print my DF, this DF consists of these are the records. Now here I have selected a very small data set. Basically, this data set consists of around 800 records. But I have not taken 800 records. I have selected randomly 10 records. I only selected 10 records. Why? Because whenever we want to learn something new one, if for small examples, we can learn easily, right? Now, here you can understand each and everything in the pandas very detailedly since we have selected a small data set. Now here df.head. First one is df.head. What is meant by head means first 5 records. It is going to print the first 5 records. Now what is the use of head function? Okay, first 5 records it is going to print. Now what is the use? Means generally, for example, let us take a Excel sheet consisting of 20,000 records are there. Okay, you have loaded your liver.excel file and in this 20,000 records are there and you're asking print df. Now df will be printed. What it is going to print, you know, first 5 records it will print dot and last 5 records will be printed. All the records you can't see. If you want to see also, there will be no use. What you'll get with respect to by seeing the data? Just because if you open the data like this and if you observe the data, you can't identify anything. Instead of that, you have to ask by writing the different functions, what are the unique values are there? What are the different values are there? That we have to see by like that. So for example, if you are having 20,000 records are there, let us assume you are having 20,000 records. What you'll understand? For example, let me open in front of you one of the data set only. Okay. Let me open one of the data set. Okay, this is one of the data set where this data set consists of 30,000 records are there. If I drag down, okay, if I drag down like this, not 30,000, 43,000 records are there. 43,400 records are there. 43,400 records are there. If I give the print of this one, what you will understand? From the starting onwards to ending, are you going to see manually step by step what are the different types of unique values are there? Are you going to see like this one by one? No, that is, we are not going to do in that way because the data set is small means we can observe like that. But if the data set is very large, we can't do like that. Right? Just in the real life, what we are going to do is just we'll load the data. After loading the data, we'll ask df.head. Directly we'll print the df.head. Why we'll print the df.head means whether we have loaded a correct data set or not to check ourselves. If we have loaded a wrong data set, a correct data set, to check that one, we are going to use the df.head. That is the main intention of head, right? So head function by default, it is going to give the first 5 records by default. No, sir, I want only 2 records means n is equal to 2. You have to write n is equal to 2. N is the default argument. If you don't write anything by default, it is going to take n is equal to 5. N means first. So this particular head function is going to return the first n rows. Whatever the n value you have written, it is going to return the first. So here I have written with respect to n is equal to means first two records will be displayed. If I write n is equal to 3 means first three records. Whatever the n value you are going to write, it is going to display. If you don't write anything, by default, it is going to take the 5. Now, what is the use of head means whether we have loaded our correct data set or not to check that one, right? Similarly, tail, we are having the tail. Tail means last records. By default, 5 records of last 5 records, it is going to print. Tail function gives you the last 5. If you want to see only last 2 records, you are going to use n is equal to 2. Then it is going to print the last 2 records. Head means first, tail means last, right? And next one is df dot shape. Now, what is meant by df dot shape? Total number of rows and total number of columns. In my data set, okay, this is the data set. Now, this is the complete data set, where this complete data set consists of how many rows? 10 rows. How many columns are there? 6 columns are there. Now, what is the shape of this one? 10, 6. The same thing it is going to print. 10, 6, right? Next, size. What is meant by size means total number of elements. That is 10 into 6, 60 values. Just it is going to multiply these two. Whatever in the shape is there, just it is going to multiply those two. Sir, if you observe in my data set, there is some missing values are there, right? 2 missing values are there. This one and this one. It has to give only 58, right? If 2 missing values are there, total number of values are 58 only. It will not count in that way. Though it is a missing value also, it is also considered as one of the value. This value name is called as missing value. This value is called as 7.6. That value is called as missing value. That is also value. So total number of values by default, if whenever you ask the size, it is just multiplying the number of rows into number of records. Inside whatever the data it might be, just it will multiply these two. That is the size. Next, df dot columns. Df dot columns means it is going to give you the column names. What are the column names? Age, gender, TB, DB, TP, liver patient. So these are the column names. In my original data set, total 6 columns are there. Age, gender, TB, DB, TP, liver patient. So this is the column names. And the same thing you are going to get by using df dot keys. The same answer you are going to get by using the df dot keys. Why? Because pandas was created using the dictionary. In the dictionary, the keys are nothing but in the pandas column names. The keys are converted as the column names. Yesterday we have seen in the data frame. The keys will be converted as the column names and the values will be taken in the column wise. So the same thing. So that is the reason df dot keys also gives you the column names. Df dot columns will give the same thing and df dot keys also will give the same thing. Any one of them you are going to use as per your choice. Okay. Now, df dot rename. Now, you have observed the column names. In these column names, whatever the column names are there, column names. These column names, okay? Column name. Till now, we are discussing rows and columns. So this is called as column names. Whatever the column names are there, they are called as labels. They are called as labels. Okay? In pandas, they are called as labels in pandas. They are called as variables. They are called as variables in statistics. In statistics, they are called as variables. They are called as futures in machine learning. Same, everything are same. Futures, variables, labels, column names, everything is same. One age. Age, what is meant by age means? In a normal language, if you are discussing in a normal language, it is called as a column name. Generally, it is called as a column name. In pandas, it is called as label. Label means what is meant by label? Column name only. Age means column, it is the label. And the same age in statistics, we call them as variable. In ML, we call them as futures, future names. Okay, finally, everything are same. Okay. And coming to the row names, whatever the row names are there, the row names are called as index in pandas. In pandas, it is called as index. In statistics and in ML, it is called as just records. Just they are called as records. Records means rows. Each row is called as a record. The column name is called as field in SQL. It is called as field in the SQL. In SQL, row names are called as records only. Okay, each time they have created one name. Simply to say they are column names. Easy to remember means column names. Okay, but in the exam, or for example, you are discussing in terms of with your seniors in the companies. We are working on the machine learning project and you are discussing. At the time, your senior is going to say future. This future consists of this one. This future consists of this one. He is going to say in this way. At the time, if I don't say the futures, if I say simple word of column names, you may not understand, right? So these are the different technical words, right? Is that clear? Done. Now, so here, whatever the labels are there, or whatever the variable names are there, whatever the futures or whatever the fields are there. Now, within the Python, whatever the name is there, the name should follow the same syntax, whatever we have done in the variable names. The first class, what are the rules we have discussed for the variable name? The same syntax will be applied for all the names. Wherever the word of name is there, the name is in Python, it is called as identifier. Basically, one name is identifier. For example, I want to identify you. How I am going to identify you is based on your name only. So they are called as basically identifiers. For identifiers, whatever the rules are there, means the rules we have discussed in the starting class, that is, it should be alphanumeric. And it should consist of only special character underscore. No other characters is accepted, including the space also, right? And if you want to start with numeric means, it will throw the error. Or reserved words or keywords cannot be used as the variable names or anything. Okay, the same logic, whatever you are having for the variable name, the same logic is applied for the function names also. Same logic is applied for the module names also. Same logic is applied for the library name also. Same logic is applied for the variable name also. Same logic is applied for the future name also. Anything is same. Name is there means it should follow the syntax in the Python. All of them should be alphanumeric. Okay, no special character is accepted. Now, here, if you observe, my first column name is age. It is accepted or not? Yes, done. Gender, accepted or not? Done. TB, accepted or not? Done. DB, accepted? Done. TP, done. Liver patient. When you ask the liver here, it is having the space between them, which is not acceptable. So you have to rename that one. That one you have to rename. Sometimes we'll get the data set where there'll be the sales in bracket billions of dollars. We'll have like this. Dollar symbol is not accepted. That one also not accepted. Then what we have to do? This one we have to convert as sales underscore billion. Now, sir, if there is space is there, what happens? What is the problem for you? Right. Now, if I am asking df dot age, I'm asking df dot age means it is going to extract the values of age column. All the age values I have got, all the 10 records of age. Just observe in your data set. Okay, please everyone write this same data set. Everyone write in the notes the same data set. If you are lazy, miss, take the screenshot. If you belongs to lazy category means take the screenshot or photo. Open your camera and take the photo. If you're non-lazy category means write in the notes. So that I will also understand who is the lazy fellows in my class. That is my way of analysis. When I identify some lazy fellows, for those people, special treatment will be conducted in the future. In front, dash festival. You can fill that one. Why I'm asking to write the data set? Because whatever the code I'm going to execute, you have to tell me the answers. It prints what it is going to print in the further. So at that time, it will be useful. That is the reason I'm asking you to write. Yeah, we'll see. Done, guys? So let's start. Now here, to extract a single column values in pandas, we are having an option called as DF. You have to write the data frame name dot column name or label name. Okay. So data frame name is df dot column name is age. So if you write this one, what you are going to get, the output is the list of all the values in that particular column. It is going to extract all the values, all values in that particular column. It is going to extract all the values from that particular column. If you want to save means, you can save into a new variable. If you don't want to save means, just it is going to print. Now here I'm going to write this df.age. Here I have written the df.age and it has given me the values. Whatever the complete list of values are there, everything it has given me. Now what I'm going to do is, next I'm going to take gender. Second column name is gender. So gender values, whatever the list of gender values are there, I'm going to get. Now third TB. I'm using TB. I'm getting all the TB values. Similarly, DB. This one also I'm going to get all the values. Similarly, the fifth column, TP. Okay, if you select the TP, and I'm going to get that one also. Now the last column, which was not as per the rule, now I'm going to use that one. Liver space patient. Now what happens? It is going to throw the error, invalid syntax. Why? The same thing I have used, right? Same, whatever I have used for the age, gender, TB, DB, TP, the same way I have written df dot column name, but it is throwing the error because the reason behind that is this is not as per the syntax. So then automatically this is not as per the syntax. Finally, you are going to get the syntax error. Now, what is the solution for this? Then means first you have to rename the column. Option number one. Option number one, multiple options are there, out of which option number one, you have to rename the column. Now, if you rename the column, so I'm just renaming the column like this, where df dot rename columns is equal to liver patient, that is the old name, to the new name. New name is just I'm going to remove between them space. This I'm going to store in the data frame number one, df1. Okay, df1. Now it is df. Open your df. Df is as it is, the old one, where you are having liver space patient. Here liver, there is no space without patient. Means this is as per the syntax. Now for this one, df1 dot liver patient. Now it is going to execute. Now the same question, if I am writing here, that is with a df, using the df dot liver space patient, and it is going to throw the error. Got the point? So in this case, I'm going to get the error. In this case, I'm not getting the error because the reason behind that is here, the particular column name is not in the proper syntax. Here, the particular column name is in the proper syntax in this particular data frame, right? Now, so now here the data frame liver patient, whatever the liver patient is there, I'm going to extract. This is option number one. You have to rename. Option number two, without renaming also we can extract. How, miss? The second option is df of, instead of keeping dot, we have to use the square bracket. Second option is square bracket. And within the square bracket, now you have to write the liver patient, whatever the column name is there. This is option number two. Either you have to replace. If you replace, miss, sir, if I replace, miss, I'm going to use directly df dot. If I don't replace, miss, I have to use compulsory this one. Sir, for example, I have replaced. If I write the same logic for this one, that is df1. For df1 also, I'm applying the same logic, that is brackets, liver patient. So it is going to execute. Okay, it is going to execute. It is going to execute for this one. It is going to execute for this one. Means if you are using df of square bracket, and inside that, if you write the column name, whatever the column name within the inverted commas, if you write, anything is okay. Even the special characters, brackets, dollar symbol, anything is okay. But whenever you are using dot, it should be having the proper syntax. So for one of them, anything is okay. For one of them, only the proper syntax is required. Instead of that, generally what we'll do is, whatever the column name is not following the proper syntax, first we'll rename that one. Okay. So instead of remembering this one or that one like this, instead of remembering like this, whichever is not having the proper syntax, just we are going to rename. Okay. Is that clear, guys? The reason behind why we have to rename the column, is that clear? So now by using this one, we are going to rename. So what is the syntax for renaming the column names? Means df dot rename is the function. Within that, columns, we have to use the columns. Columns is equal to dictionary. Within the dictionary, the old name and new name. Key is the old one, value is the new one. Sir, for example, I want to replace two things. That is liver patient I want to change, and along with that, one more column also. What is one more column I want to change means, for example, let us take TP. Caps lock TP is there. I want to convert this one to small letters TP. Okay. It is not mandatory, for showing you. Example, for as one small example, I'm showing you how to rename the multiple column names at a time. Just you have to take it like this. That's it. Is that clear? So in the dictionary, just you have to take first one followed by second one. Like that, how many column names you want to replace? Everything. 20 columns also you can replace in a single line of code. Is that clear, guys? 1 means 1, 2 means 2, 20 means 20. How many you want, you can rename according to that. Clear? So, and if you want to replace in the original data frame, write is equal to df. Now what happens? First right side part, everything will be executed. Once everything was executed, now this one will be saved in the df. So now after replacing, now I'm going to store in the original df only. Instead of storing in the df1, I'm storing in the original df only. Means in the original only I'm replacing. The original data only I'm replacing. Is that clear? Now, next, df dot d types. Df dot d types. D types means we are having total 3 different types. One is called as int, second one is called as float, and third one is called as object. Total 3 will be there. What is meant by int means which without having any decimal, no decimal. If the data, that particular column doesn't consist of any decimal value. For example, let us take like this. First column, age column. In this, any decimal value is there? No. If one of them 72.0 is there, one of them 72.0 is there also, it will show as float. If one decimal value is there also, it is float. If none of the record is having the float value, means then it is called as int data type. Now this one, so here I'm having the text. Numbers are not there. Text. The text is considered as object. Text is considered as object. Now this one, decimal values are there. Float. This one, decimal values are there. Float. This one, decimal values are there. Float. At least one decimal value is there also, float only. And here, text, object. Is that clear? So it is going to print in this way. Int, object, float, 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 and object. Now your question will be, sir, what is this 64? 64 is the bytes of space. How many bytes of space it has used? By default, 64. Sir, what is meant by this 64 bytes of space? What is the meaning of that? Miss, we'll discuss when we are working on the database. Okay. As of now, just ignore the number. Okay. You are having only one and only number. So just ignore. 64 is not having any importance in the pandas. Okay. Just you can ignore. Don't worry. Right. Now here, as one of the student is saying that, sir, for example, here 0 is there. And some of them are text is there. And one of them is 1.0 is there. 3 of them are there. Float is there. Int is there. And text also is there. Then it is going to give the object only. If at least one object is there also, object only. If at least one float is there also, float. If everything, first this one. This one is the base. Base is int. Int it is going to give if there is no float and there is no one of the object also, means there is no string. If none of the variable is string or none of the variable is object, I mean neither string or with respect to float, then only it is going to give the int. If at least one value of float is there also, it will give the float. Sir, for example, 1.0, 2.0, 3. I am having like this object. If the same 3 is not there, only normal 3 is there, float. When you are going to get int miss, not even 1 also should be there. Then only you will get the int. Is that clear? Got the point? So directly you are going to get by using the D types. D types means the data types of each column. Data type of each column. Int, object, and float. For int type objects, we are going to do one type of analysis. For float, we are going to do one type of analysis. For object data, one type of analysis. What are the type of analysis we are going to do, miss? That is next, which we are going to discuss. Okay. Next, now, what are the things we have discussed? One is, once again, till now, whatever we have discussed, once again, repeating. First one is head function. In today's class, we have discussed head function. That is first 5 records it is going to print. Tail function, last records it is going to print. Whatever the number, if you don't write any number, by default 5. Next, shape, dot shape, where dot shape gives you the number of rows and number of columns. Next, dot size, where size gives you the number of elements. That is nothing but number of rows into your number of columns. Next, dot columns. Dot columns gives you the column names. Dot keys. Dot keys gives you the column names. And dot rename, where rename function is used to rename the column names. And D types. D types are used to check each column what is the data type. So these are the things which we have covered in last 45 minutes. Now, just I'm going to use next one is called as info. Next one is called as info. What is this info consist of means your size, column names, and data types. A combination of shape, columns, and data types is called as info. So now if I use the df.info, info means I'm going to get the information about the data frame. Info means concise summary of the data frame or simply information of the data frame. Info means information of data frame. Right? Now df.info. df.info gives you the shape. First it will give the shape. You don't need to separately type the df.shape. Automatically here only you can identify. How, sir? 10 entries. 10 entry means 10 records. Total 6 columns. 6. The shape is 10, 6. Here, whatever the entry numbers are there, 10 entries means 10 records. Total 6 columns means total 6 columns are there. 10, 6 is the data. That is data shape. And next, all the column names you can see here itself. Whatever the columns are there, all the column names you can see here. Along with the data types also you can see here, their respective data types. Column names are visible along with the data type also visible. And shape also. So in real life, first we are going to load the data and we are going to save in the data frame. Second line of code is df.head. Means whether we have loaded a correct data set or not. This is the second line of code. Third line of code, we are going to write df.info, directly this one only. Okay. And we are going to see all the column names. And based on this info, according to that, we are going to rename the columns. Separately, we are not going to type df.columns, df.keys, nothing, no need to write. Directly df.info. In the automatically, you'll get here only, all the column names. Right? Now, whatever the column names you are having. Yeah. Sri Charan, just give me a minute, I will explain. Now here, whatever the column names we are having, age, gender, TB, DB, TP, and liver patient. So these are the 6 column names. And what is the index number of the first column is 0. Age column index number is 0. Gender column index number is 1. TB column index number is 2. DB column index number is 3. And TP column index number is 4. And this one is 5. Liver patient index number is 5. Okay. So just if you type here, I'm typing directly here itself, the data frame, df. So this is the column names. These are the column names, 6 column names, and index number of each column is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. Indexing, positive indexing, negative indexing. Whenever you are having index numbers, you will have the positive and negative in entire Python, right? And coming to this one, these are all the row names. Whatever it is displaying, everything is the row name. What is the numbers? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the index numbers. Similarly, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 up to -10. These are the index numbers. This is the names. Similarly, this is the column names and this is the index numbers. Right? Now here we can see the each column, what is the corresponding index number. Okay. So in the column names, whatever the corresponding index number also you can see in the info. For example, total 50 columns are there. Okay, 50 columns are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this 50 columns are there. You are having a data set of up to 50. Now in that particular column name, I asked what is the index number, miss? Are you going to count 0, 1, 2, 3? Are you going to count like this? No, directly we'll come to the df.info and we'll see what is the index number here. In the info, we'll see the index number of that particular column. Got the point? We are not going to count them manually. Okay. For example, here there is no index numbers. Let us assume this, there is nothing. This is not there. Assume there is not there. Generally, if I ask you what is the index number of TP, what you are going to say? What is the index number of TP column? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are going to count like this, right? For example, this total, I am having 50 columns. In that 42nd column is there. I am asking what is the index number, miss? You are going to count one by one. Manually, we have to count it. So instead of doing that one, they have given the index numbers also for each column. Right? Anyways, index names and index numbers of rows we can see here itself. Right? Now, and along with that, not null count. What is meant by not null, miss? In the age column, total 10 values are there which are non-null. Total number of records are how many? 10. So 10 out of 10 non-null means how many null are there? Then 0. So total is equal to your non-null plus null. Age column, total 10 are there. Out of 10 of them are non-null. Then obviously null is 0. Next, gender column. Total 10 is fixed for everything. For every column, 10 is totally fixed. Now, how many non-null are there in the gender column? 10. Means how many null are there? 0. This one, 10. How many non-null are there? 0. Again, fourth one, that is DB column. 10. How many non-null are there? 0. TP column. 8 non-null. How many null are there? 2 are there. And the liver patient, total 10. How many null are there? 0. Sir, are we going to do this one manually like this? Means no need to do that one. For that, shortcut is df.isNull.sum. df.isNull.sum is same to same, the same, whatever this column, this line is there, it is going to print this line. Or whatever the null values are there, that list of null values, it is going to print. For each column, null values, it is going to print. Sir, how it is working? How? What is the reason? And how it is giving this answer? Means df. First, you take the df up to df. You know what is meant by df, right? Df means your data frame. Up to here, it is common. Dot is null. Is null means you are asking whether you are a null value. Whenever there is a word of is, what is the output? True or false. That we have seen in the strings. Is alphanumeric, is upper, all these things. Either true or false it is going to give. Now I am going to ask this one, whether it is a null value? No. False. 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 So wherever the null value is there, that will be converted as true. These two are trues and remaining all of them are false. So just if I execute that one, I'm going to get same answer. Just to see, wherever the null values are there, it is converted as true. Wherever the non-null are there, everything are converted as false. Is that clear? Up to is null is clear. df.is null meaning is clear. Now dot sum. Dot sum is, what is the meaning of sum? Sum is do the addition. So whenever there is a arithmetic operator, the boolean will be automatically converted to int type. This I have told you in the Python. So what is true plus true? 2. What is false plus true? 1. So why it is 1? Reason behind this one is whenever there is a arithmetic operator, automatically it will be considered as int of false plus int of true. which is nothing but int of false is 0 plus int of true is 1, and you are going to get the output like this. Now, whenever I have written the word of sum, automatically just it is going to do the sum in this way. Plus, 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 plus. Now, what is the sum of this one? 0. What is the sum of this one? 0. What is the sum of this one? 0. What is the sum of this one? Now, here 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1, 0, 0, 0, 0 plus 1. Now, what is the total? 2. 2 missing values are there. And this is also 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and total is 0. And dot sum, when you ask dot sum, it is going to print. That is the reason it is giving the answer like that. Got the point now? So in this way, we are going to identify in each column how many missing values are there. Once we identify, according to that, we are going to replace. Either we are going to drop them or we are going to replace them. First, whether we have to replace or whether we have to drop, first we have to check in my data set how many missing values are there. To check how many missing values, I am having df.isNull.sum. Option number 1. Option number 2. df.isNA. Either isNull or isNA. Answer is same. And dot sum is also answer is same. One is isNull and one is isNA. Both are same. If both are same, sir, why they have created 2? Why they have created isNull separately? Why they have created isNA separately? Both are same only, na? Why they created? Time pass. There is no particular answer. In the future version, they are going to remove this one also. There will be no difference. Both are same. What is the difference between df.keys and df.columns? Both are same. Why they have created 2 miss? Right? One is using the dictionary they have created. One is using the array they have created. Right? So out of these 2, which one we have to use, sir, miss? Don't ask that question. Whenever there is an option, don't ask the question which option is the best. Whichever you feel, that is the best. Whichever you feel easy. Whichever you feel easy, that is the best option. Never ask the question which option is the best. If that both of them are different options, different answers, miss, then obviously we have to use accordingly. If both of them are giving the same to same exact answer, choice is yours. There will be no difference now. Okay. 1 plus 2. What is the answer? 3. Whether if you do like this also same answer. If you do like this also same answer. Sir, whether I have to do 1 plus 2 or 2 plus 1 na? Answer is 3 only na. Whether what way you add also for me, no problem. Finally, answer is 3 only, right? So we are going to ask the question, what is 1 plus 2 only? Not 2 plus add in this way, add in this way. No one will say like that. Anything of your choice, right? Finally, I want the answer. Is that clear? Now, next, how to access the data? How to access the data? Sir, earlier you told na how to access the data, that is either 1 bracket, inside that you have to write the column name. Second option is df dot and write the column name. 2 options you already told, right? These 2 options, what it will give? The entire column. The values of entire column it will give. I don't want entire values. I want within that only first 5 records, or within that only selected records. Second record, 8th record. 9th record, 14th record. Like this I want. I don't want all the records. Then that is accessing the data. You are going to access the data, or you are going to select the data as per your choice. As per your choice, you can select the data, right? How you are going to do this one is either by using the ilock or lock. ilock or lock. 2 functions are available. ilock or lock. Okay. These both of them are used to access the data, right? Access the data or extract the data from the data frame. Okay. Extract the data. Extract data from the data frame. ilock and lock. Now, what is meant by ilock and lock? Lock means LOC. Lock means location. Locate. LOC means location. I means index. Index location. It is going to work based on the index number. I works on the index number. iloc works on the concept of index number. Okay. Whether it is a row index number or column index number, it will work on the index number. Lock will work on the name. That is the difference between both of them. When you are calling with the lock, you have to give the name as the input. You should not give the index number as the input. When you are calling with iloc, you have to give the index number as the input, not with the lock. This is 100% guarantee question in your certifications. 100% with no doubt. And one of the most important interview question also, what is the difference between iloc versus lock in pandas? What is the difference between iloc versus lock in pandas? Right? Let us see one by one. Okay. So what is the difference, miss? iloc works on the index number, whereas lock works on the name. iloc works on the index number, that is row index number, column index number. Both of them index numbers only. You have to give index numbers only. Whereas name wise means row, index, name. For row name, whatever the row name is there, row name. And if you want to work on the column is column name only you have to give. You have to give the name only. You, for example, I want to call you. Okay. And I want to call you to the assume. Now I'm having two options. One is based on your roll number. One is based on your name wise. I can call you based on your roll number. If I assign you the fixed roll numbers, I can call you the attendance based on the roll numbers, right? And at the same time, I can call you based on the name wise. So same to same here also. One is number and one is name. Now concept is same. df dot iloc square bracket. Whenever there is a square bracket, you are extracting the data. For that reason only slicing operation, index, everything will be the square bracket. Square bracket indicates you are extracting the data. Normal bracket indicates that it's a function. Right? Whenever you are going to work on the index or whenever you want to extract the data, go with the square brackets. Right? Now df dot iloc. Now df dot iloc, where comma, center value is comma. Before to comma, row index number. Before to comma, row index. After to comma, column index number. In between comma should be there. That is the syntax. In between comma. Before to that is row, after to this comma. For example, let us see multiple examples, not one or two, because 100% guarantee interview question, 100% in the certification. If pandas, based on the pandas, if they're asking some questions, means in that 100% it should be there. 100% it should be there. Right? If you type after the class, just after the class, type interview questions on pandas. 100% you will get what is the difference between iloc versus lock. Okay. Now let us start with the first one. df dot iloc. Don't write simultaneously along with me. Just focus. It will be easy. Okay. Step by step, let us focus. Now, example number 1. First example. I will explain multiple examples. Example number 1. Row index, I'm going to consider 0. Column index, I'm considering 4. In your data set, you are already having the data set, right? In that data set, row index number 0. What is there? First row. In that fourth index number, what is the answer? Sorry. 6.8. The same answer you are going to get here. Just I'm writing df dot iloc bracket 0 means first row. Within that fourth index number, that is 6.8. Is that clear? First example is clear. Now, example number 2. df dot iloc of only 0 I am writing. After comma, I am not writing the second number. Only 0 I have written. Means, what is the meaning? Means it is going to consider the row, 0th row with all the values. By default, the after comma, it is all, everything. If you write only the one number, miss, it is going to consider that one as the row. Now, what is there in the first row? Whatever the values, 65, female, 0.7, 0.1, 6.8. Yes. Is that clear? Only 0 is there, miss. I mean, only single number is there, miss. That is row related. Okay. Now, example number 3. df dot ilog. Okay. Now, comma is common. Okay. Before to comma, I am taking the list of rows. First one, third one, fifth one. These are the list of rows. Column is 2. Now, index number 2. What is there in the column index number 2? What is the column index number 2? DB. So let me write here DF so that I will also work simultaneously. I'm writing DF. So column index number 2 is 0, 1, 2, TB. TB column, within that 135, miss, column is this one only. Within that 135, 135 miss 7.3, 3 is 1.0, 5. What is there in the 5? 1.8. This is the answer which I'm going to get. Right? If I execute this code, this is the answer. That is, I have selected the list of values. Which list of values? A row. Rows list of values. Okay. That is 1, 3, 5. And what is the columns I have selected? 2. That is 7.3, 1 and 1.8. Same answer you have got. Is that clear? Example number 3 is clear. Now let us try with the example number 4. Same example. Above, as it is, I'm copying. List of rows are 1, 3, 5. Okay. But column, I'm not giving the number. Column number I have not given. What is the meaning of that? All the columns. All the columns means what are the rows you are going to get? First row, index number of row 1, index number of row 3, index number of row 5. All the columns you are going to get. All the columns you are going to get. Just I'm trying with respect to the same example. df dot ilog bracket. The main bracket is this one. Within that internal one more bracket I have written. This bracket is for what? Rows. That is 1, 3, 5. Rows I have selected. But columns, instead of writing the column number, I'm not writing the column number. If I'm not writing the column number, by default, everything. Means the first record of complete row, third one, fifth one. Index number of 1, index number of 3, index number of 5. Is that clear? Got the points? Now, next example number 4 is completed. Now, example number 5. df dot ilog, again square bracket, comma. Before comma, I am not giving anything. But after comma, I am writing 1, 2. Now, before 2 comma, I am not writing anything. Now, sir, here 2 commas are there. This comma is there. The main, this one is considered as the center comma. This comma is for this bracket, whereas this comma is for this bracket. This comma, whatever this comma is there, that is for the first main bracket. Now, for the main bracket, what I'm going to do? I'm going to consider all the rows and columns of 1 and 2. What is there in the 1 and whatever is there in the 2. Right? So now example number next one. df dot ilog. Now this is the comma. Before 2 comma is rows. Now what I'm going to do is rows. I'm going to take 0 to 4. What is this one? Slicing. 0 to 4. Miss, how many you are going to get? 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 should not be included. Last number should not be included. And columns, first column. Index number 1. Now, what is the records I'm going to get? That is 0 record, 1 record, 2 record, 4th record. But column is, what is the column? Gender column. What is in the gender 0th record? What is there? First one is female, male, male, male. This is the answer. Okay. 0 to 4 means 0 to 3 records. Slicing operation 0 to 4. Sir, 0 to 4, you have taken 0, 1, 2, 3. But I don't want like that. I want only 1 and 3. First one and third one. Take the list of 1 and 3. Whichever you are interested, take the list. 10th one you want, 10th one you write. Whatever you want, you write the list. Everything you want means go with the slicing. Go with the slicing. So slicing, automatically we take the 0, 1, 2, 3 and column of 1. Now the same example, I'm adding the one more column 2. Now what happens? Along with the gender, TB also will be added. TB values, 4 TB values also will be added. Now, let us try with this. Whatever I have told you, just give an example. That is df dot iloc main square bracket. This is the main one. And before to comma, the rows I'm going to consider is 0 to 4. That is 0 to 3. Columns, I'm going to take only 1. Means I'm going to get female, male, male, male. List of 1, 2. Columns of list of 1, 2. Now, that is 0 to 4. Along with the gender, one more. What is one more? That is TB also you are going to get. Right? Now, next, comma 5 or 3. What is in the 3? DB also will be added. How many rows are? What are the rows? 0 to 4. 0 to 4 means 0 to 3. Right? Now, here, I'm not going to write the n number. What is not? If you don't write n number, what is the meaning of that? Everything. So it is going to take everything. 10 records it will take. If you don't write first number, 0 to all. Right? So, df dot iloc, and if you want only the rows and all the columns, means write just your row number, whether it is a single or whether it is a multiple row numbers you want to write, means you have to take the list. If you want to apply slicing, means you have to take the slicing. This all of them indicates only the rows with all the columns. This one also indicates 3 rows with all the columns. How you told that all the columns comma is there now? But this comma belongs to this bracket. For the main bracket, what is the comma? There is no comma for the main bracket. There is no comma means by default all the rows. I mean all the columns. Clear, guys? Any questions? Is there any question? Now, df dot iloc. Okay, df dot iloc, where I'm going to use comma and index numbers of 0 to 8, columns of 0 to 2. What is the meaning of this? 0 to 7 records it is going to print, columns of 0 and 1. What is 0 and 1? Gender and age and gender. That is 0, 8. You take 0 to 8 and columns you take from 0 to 2. So 0 to 7 rows and columns of 0 to 1. Is that clear? Now 0 to 8 with an increment of 2. What is the meaning of this? 0, 2, 4, 6. Those rows will be selected. Done? Now, let us ask my interview question. df dot iloc of -1. What is answer? Huh? ninth row, the last one. Whatever the last one, the entire row, columns are all the columns. Exactly. That is the answer. That is the same question was given in the certification. Okay. Is that clear? Now, since it is clear, now you tell me for this remaining 4 options, directly you only tell me the answers. What is this one? 5 and 8th record, 5th record and 8th record. Whereas columns of 1, 2, 3 and 4. What is there in the 1? TP. 5th record and 8th record of this. Is that clear? Next, this one. Same 5 and 8. 1 to 4. Same to same, na? Above. List of 1 to 4, you have written 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you are writing 1 to 5. Same answer. Above answer, below answer should be the same. Now, this one. Zero, 1, 2 is the records. Columns are 0 and 1. That is age and gender. Right? Now, this one. All rows, columns 5 and 4. First, 5th record will be printed. 5th column will be printed, followed by 4th column will be printed. That is first liver patient, followed by TP column. Done. Lock is clear. Now, same logic applied to the iLock. iLock is completed. Now lock. Same logic. Instead of number, go with the name. Instead of number, go with the name. Wherever the word of number is there, write the name. That's it. That is the difference. Slicing operation, can you apply for the names? No. Slicing is not applicable in the lock. Because if you write age to TP or DB, TP minus 1 will not be selected. Last one also will be included. Age to TP, everything will be included. Minus 1 will not be applicable here because it is a string. String minus 1 we can't do. So slicing operation, if you are using in the lock means automatically the last one also will be included. The names. Right? Now, let us start with this. First question. DF dot lock of 0. What is lock of 0? What is column? No column. 0. What is 0? A row name with 0. What is the row name with 0? Same. First row in earlier index number, whatever you are having, the same thing. Right? Now, by default, the names and whatever the name of this particular row is there, the name and the index number same. Both are same by default. For example, this one I have kept the name as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now, in this case, if I ask DF of 0, what is the answer? Error. 0 name is not there. Row name with 0 is not there. Row name with A is there. Row name with B is there. Row name with J is there. But there is no row name with 0. None of the record name is called as 0. It is working on the name. It is checking whether 0 name is available or not. Is the name 0 is available? No. It is going to throw the key error. For example, let us try with df dot lock. iLock, instead of lock, I am using lock. That is df of lock of -1. Is there any name with -1? It is going to throw the error that there is no value with -1. Key error of -1. There is no key name with -1. Now, key name -1 is not there, but the same key name with 9 is there. Okay, 9 is there. Sir, for example, here you take it as A, sir. Name it as A. This one also name it as A. Now you have asked the df dot lock of A. Now what it is going to print means both of them. This one and this one. Both of them names are same means. If I ask in this class, who is Suresh means, if two Sureshes are there, both of them are going to raise the hand, right? Same way. Both of them are having the same names, so both of them will be printed. Okay. So df, now df of log 2 comma 3. What is the meaning of 2 comma 3? What is the columns it is going to select in this case? Row name of 2 and 3, columns, all the columns. Row name of 2 and 3 and with all the columns. What is this one? All rows, only age. All rows with only age. Sir, this one, earlier you have written df of age now. df of age. This one, and third one is this one. df dot, not df dot, directly this one only. Directly you are asking age only. What is the difference between three of them? Can you say any difference in this? Is there any difference? Answer is same. You can use as per your choice. Please don't ask the question which we are going to use in the industry. None of them is going to sit side to you and watch you are going to write your code. None of them is going to watch like that. They'll share you the data set and they'll ask you to analyze the data set. Okay. Is that clear? Now this one, df.log. df of log 2 comma 3 age to TP. Now what is the meaning of this? Rows are 2 comma 3, columns are age to TP. Now you are using log, df.log of 2 comma 3, 0 to 5. What is the meaning of this one? 2 comma 3 is the rows, row names. 0 to 5 column names. 0 to 5 column names are there. Column names are not there with 0. Column names are available with age, TB, DB. These are the names. So whenever you are using the log, it is going to consider as the name, whether it is a column or row, name. So since this name is not available, it is going to throw the error that that particular is not having any name. Now here, instead of this one, if I write I, then it will work. Because index number 2 and 3 is possible. At the same time, index number 0 to 5 also possible. So it is going to work. Right? Now, make sure that don't confuse between the difference of log and ilog. So df.ilog of 2 comma 0. What is meant by 2 comma 0? Second row, column wise 0. What is the answer? 62. Right? Now the same thing, I'm asking df.log of 2 comma age. Same answer. In above case, you have to ask index number. Below case, you have to ask the name wise. Unexpectedly, row is having same name. But if you are having a different name, according to that, you have to process. Okay? A different name is there means you have to take a different. Now, df.ilog of 0. Already completed, right? Okay. Is that clear? Difference between log and ilog. Any questions? And online students. Sir, but sir, you said these are row names in the last class. I mean from 0 to 9. Exactly. Now was I'm saying the same. 0 to 9 is the by default, they are row names. They are names only. Numbers also same. By if index numbers will not be displayed. Index numbers never it will display. Only the names only will display. Whether it is a column names or row names, only the names will be displayed. Numbers will never, it is going to display. Is that clear? Abhishek. Next, Shubham. Okay, answer is last row with all columns. Yes. Okay, answer, that is answer. Okay. Next, Venkatesh, sir, give me co-host. Okay, admin, leave it. Next, Deshpande, sir, please explain log again. Okay, let me explain in a different way now. What is that different way, miss? So here there is an option called as set index. Set index is the function name. Df dot set index. Deshpande, I am going to explain for your question only. Just before to that question, just observe this one. Df dot set index. Set index means whatever the row names are there, those row names should be replaced with the TB. Okay. So this will be set as the index. Now, these are the index names, row index name. Now, for first record, what is the name? 0.7 is the name. What is the name of this one? 7.3. That is name. What is the index numbers? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the numbers. That is common. That is numbers. Now, these are the names. Name is different. Number is different, right? Now, in this case, I'm asking df dot log of 0. What is the answer of df dot log of 0? Now, please write in your notes answer, please. This is the data frame L1. I am storing, this is the entire data in the L1. L1 dot log of 0. Just write in the notes. Whatever the answer, first you write in the notes. Later you'll ask. I'll ask one student randomly as per my choice. First priority I will give to the lazy people. Right? Now, I'm asking the name. What is the columns? Columns are all the columns. Row is row name with 0. Is there any row name with 0? So it is going to throw the error. There is no name with 0. Why? Because earlier that is the row name. Earlier whatever we have worked is the row name. Now here row name 0.7 is there. Row name of 0.7. Yes. Sir, here 7.3, 7.3. Two of them are same row names, right? So I'm asking df of 7.3. So whatever the names are there with 7.3, everything it is going to display. Is that clear now? Deshpande, is your question is clear now? Log means name. You are going to work on the name wise. Right? Deshpande, is your question is clear? And one of the student is asking that, sir, can you explain this one? Okay, in the chat box, he is asking something. Let me copy the same thing. Okay, so this is the question. So df.log, and what is the meaning of this? He is asking what is the meaning of this. Okay, now for this, what is the meaning? Meaning is nothing but this comma, whatever this comma is there, this comma is for the main square bracket. So before to this is rows. So I want the row names, a row name with 2 and 3, and the columns, I want the columns from age to TP. That is the meaning of this one. Rows of 2, 3 and columns are age to TP, everything. So -1 will not be applicable because we can't do TP -1. Index numbers -1 will do, but it is not index numbers. They are the names. So we should not apply the -1 concept for this. Is that clear? Done. Next, 1 minute. Yeah, Venkatesh, I have given you the co-host. Right? So here the rows are 2, 3 and the columns are from age to TP. It is considering everything from age to TP. Now, what is this one? L1. L1 means what is L1? This is the data frame. Check L1. What is there in the L1? Don't confuse with the DF and L1. L1 is different. DF is different. L1 is having the TB as the names, right? Now for this one, can anyone tell me what is the answer? Log 0.9. So is there any row name with 0.9? Yes, row name of 0.9 is available. Oh, one more also available. Two row names of 0.9 are there. This one and this one. Now gender to TP. What is meant by gender to TP? So it is going to select from here to here. Miss, what is the answer I'm going to get? Female 0.2, 4.5. Male 0.3, 5.4. This is the answer I'm going to get for this one. Is that clear? Same answer you have got. Same 0.9, female 0.2, 4.5, male 0.3 and 5.4. First I have written the answer. After that I have executed the code. First executing the code and later if you explain miss, then according to answer you are going to learn. You are not learning according to the answer. You are learning and after you are checking your answer, whether it is a correct answer or wrong answer. Okay. Is that clear, guys? So that is with respect to lock and iLock. And next, if you want to bring to the back you want to reset the index, L1 dot reset. L1 dot reset means again the index columns will be converted to a normal column. Okay, normal column. It will be converted to a normal column and the position will be interchanged with the first position. It will come to the first position. Whenever you are using the reset, automatically it will bring to the first position by default. Is that clear? Done? Now, next, last one, the last point. Whatever the last point is. So how to extract the values means by using lock, by using iLock. And if you want the entire, all the rows and single column, if you want directly miss, you can take the column name directly, whatever the column you want. Okay. Where, for example, I'm writing like this. That is df dot age. It is going to select entire all the rows. By default, all the rows it will select. I can't select in this case only the limited rows. If I want to go to the limited rows or selected rows means I have to use either lock or iLock. Otherwise, by default, in this case, everything will be selected. And df dot age and df of age. Second option is this one. Here also, it is going to select all the rows of age column. Right? And if you want to select the multiple columns, all the rows and multiple columns, all the rows, df of all the rows and multiple columns means whatever the columns you want, you can write like this: age. Second one is gender. Okay, age, comma, gender. Now you're going to get those two columns. So age is caps lock A. Okay. Sir, now what is the here? You have forgot to give that rows na, because I'm not using iLock na. If I use iLock means then all the rows, this compulsory you have to select. Or if you are using lock also, df.ilock, or whether you are using df.lock, all the rows you have to select. Then only the columns will work. Okay. No, sir, by default, I want to take miss. Directly you can select without using iLock or lock. Right? Is that clear, guys? Option first one, to select all rows of a single column is the heading. All rows of a single column. Option syntax. What is the syntax means? df dot age or df of age. This is the two options. Second one, all rows of multiple columns. All rows of multiple columns. Multiple columns I want to select, but all rows. Rows should be everything. What is the syntax means? df of whatever the columns you want, take the list of column names. Whenever multiple is there, list of first column, comma, second column, comma, third column, like this, how many columns you want, take the list. In this above case and in the below case, it is going to select all rows, Now, next one is selected rows of a single column. Here all rows. Now selected rows. I want to select a particular selected rows of a single column. Of my choice, I want to select only particular selected columns. Then you have to use either lock or ilock. In that case, you have to go with either lock or ilock. Selected rows you want means you have to choose either lock or ilock. All rows means this one. In this case, all rows will be selected. Particularly, you want to select any particular rows means whatever the rows you want, you can take the list of rows. In this case or in this case. In this case, you have to take name. In this case, you have to write the number. Now, selected rows, and you can write the column, whatever the column name here and column index number here in this case, right? Selected rows of and selected rows of a multiple columns, selected rows and selected columns. Then again, you have to use df.lock, df.ilock. Whenever there is a selected, you have to go with lock and ilock. Whenever there is a all, then you can select this one. Now it is clear. Whenever the mind of selected is there, whichever you want to select as per your requirements, you have to go this one. All rows, simply go with this. All rows means select this one. Multiple columns is take the list of columns. Yes. Now, next, sir, the entire data frame is there. Now, this data frame, df of age column. If you ask df of age column, it is going to give the output, right? This output is a pandas. Output is pandas because that is in the pandas. From pandas, I want to convert to array. I want output as array. Dot values. Dot values gives you the output as arrays. Means, let us see this one. df of age column. What is the output? I'm going to get pandas. If I ask what is this type means, type of this one. What is the type of this? It is going to say as pandas series because you are asking a single column, na? Series. Now, sir, this one is a series. Okay. Now the same series, I want to convert as a NumPy array. Array. Same series. Whatever the series is there, means above code as it is dot values. Now, array. You got as an array. Sir, why it is giving us a series? It has to be as a data frame now. I want age as a data frame, not as a series. Then df of, instead of using one bracket, use one more bracket. Because two-dimensional array, right? So age. Now df. One bracket means series, two bracket means df, and dot values means array. Got the point? Is that clear? If you use one bracket means series is the output. If you use double bracket, data frame. If you use dot values, array is the output. That's it. That is the end of the session for today. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, practice. Already the notes was uploaded. Data set also already uploaded. Everything already uploaded, including the code also already uploaded. Now you try with different options. Before trying a new option, first you practice whatever we have discussed in the class. Revise, After revision, recollect everything. Once you are sure, then you